Yo, what's up? It's BSC Dub. I am here with Mr. Will Young.
First of all, thank you for inviting me. Uh, I hope that I was on time today. I'm not used to being on time, so thank you for inviting me, and I'm really happy to be here.
Absolutely. I'm glad you were able to make it. Low key, you are a legend here in Southern Oregon. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Well, if it meant something, I would be happy about it, but it really don't. When you look at uh, the continuation of things that you started,
Right.
the to be a legend or anything close to that means that you've gotten to a point in your life that you no longer strive to be great. So for me, nah, I still got work to do.
Amen to that.
Yes, sir.
We go back some time now, right? We've known each other a long time.
Yeah.
Ever since you've been with B1 and you're on this new journey with, go ahead and let them know what you're doing.
Well, B1 started actually in 2000,
2000?
and I started coming out to White City about 2004, 2005. And then it was really a change for me because I didn't know much about White City, but B1 was the B1 Corporation. B1 for Kids was a perfect landing spot for for what we were trying to do at the time.
You would make shirts and give them out, sell them, but there was one shirt that you made that even till this day, right? I carry that picture in my head with me, and it's the power of one.
Well, the Power of One, I can see why the shirt resonates to you and others who have become entrepreneurs in their own right. It challenges individuals to think more on a level like, I don't need people to tell me what I can't do when I'm confident in what I can do. So I think that what you have done with Cartoons World is you've exhibited that on a daily basis. So you took something and you took it to a whole nother level. So shout out to you and really embracing, um, which was I believe it was the third pillar of B1 out of the 8 pillars. It was the third pillar, the power of one. So what you have done was you've taken it to another level.
And that was gonna be my next question. So, the power of one. Um, where does that come out with, and how did you find it on the 8 pillars of B1?
Well, pillar number one was creating social change. So to create social change, you have to develop. Well, at that time, I had to develop a philosophy on the way I was going to do it. So if I go, number one is create social change. Number two was, if you remember this one, be an individual first. And then to follow be an individual first, it was going to be number three, the power of one. Then came the change of the logo from the regular B1 to me sitting on top of the world, which represented pillar number four, which was all individuals are created equal in my world. Five, free to worship. Six, live for something. Seven, love yourself. And then eight, freedom. If you go back and look at that, you've achieved freedom faster than I did, much faster than I did. And
Mm,
and and it's and because I keep continue growing, when you it goes back to the question of being a legend. To be a legend, you have to achieve freedom.
right.
And until I achieve freedom, then legendary status don't mean a whole lot.
I want to go back to in touch, be an individual first,
Yeah.
right? With social change and being connected to people across the nation and with politics and the world that's ever changing. What does it mean to like have self love, to be an individual first?
It's the hardest thing ever for a young person. Well, let me switch that around. Young people are finding more freedoms within themselves right now. For some reason, they've taken a look at themselves and decided that they were going to live by their own rules. The only problem with it is that it clashes with the values of their parents. Okay? So
Right.
let's go back to being individual first. In 2000, being individual first meant not to be caught up in what everyone else is doing. So if you go 2000 and you go 2024, what you understand is that we go from being an individual to being influencers. Those don't match up right because the influencers, in order for influencer to live, they need followers.
Sure.
So it kicks out the notion of being an individual first. For me to be an individual first means I have to knock others down. But to be an individual first means to examine the things that are around you and try to figure out how you can make sense of them without stepping on somebody else. So when I say that, I want you to understand that as somebody now who is on their way to leading the community and leading the tribe, now I'm sure you might have a different way to look at it. What does being an individual first mean to you?
Um, well, I think what it means for me and what I believe moving forward with this generation, if you can say that, is be genuine,
Mm,
right? You have to be real with yourself.
yeah.
Um, so you talked about the 2024 generation, right? You need followers to survive, but at the same time, be true to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things where they say you don't want to gain the world and lose your soul doing it.
Absolutely.
Um, so for me, being an individual is you have to be able to wake up in the mirror, look at yourself, and say, "I love who you're becoming."
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people can't do that,
That's a
right?
fact.
A lot of people can't just stare at themselves in the mirror and say, "I love who you're becoming,"
Mm-hmm.
and be genuine about it, or simply saying, "I'm proud of you." I think these days young individuals carry a burden on themselves,
Yeah.
right?
It's huge.
And it is a huge burden. But I think for you to become an individual, you have to love yourself, believe in yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and be genuine, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think by you achieving those three, that followers will come, right? People will see you, and you'll gain followers from being genuine, from being real. Um, yeah, you gain followers from being fake too, but at the end of the day, the truth will always come out to light. So be real with yourself, be genuine. That's what I
Mm-hmm.
say. Um, and another thing I say, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to be yourself.
Yeah.
If your best friend ain't gonna approve of it, it's fine,
Yeah.
right? I don't think you need the people that surround you, their approval to be yourself.
Right.
If you need their approval, then you need a new group of friends. Period.
I had when you asked me to do this, I had the same thought. I don't know why it was like it was like this. In mine, as you plainly put it, when you talk about being genuine, my thought was is that I wanted to I wanted to become something without somebody else's help, right? But I knew that failing